From the shadows of historical exclusion, we now step into the present, a critical examination of how women are transforming the built environment today. Dr. Kolosa Madigizela described the sector bluntly as white, male-dominated, untransformed, and lacking diversity. In the decade between 2013 and 2021, women's executive representation in South Africa's property sector remained frozen at a mere 15%. What does the present look like for women in the property sector today? Are they fighting a losing battle? Is it too late for change?
My mom, she had 10 kids. We are all girls. And then I'm number 9 out of all those girls. And then I was most ugliest one out of all those 10. And then my dad, when he saw me, he said, yes, here's my boy. And then I look upon my mom because she was working at home. She didn't have a work. So then I said to myself, when I grew up, I don't want to be like what I saw. And then I want to be a better person.
So my mom was a domestic worker, so she wasn't making a lot of money. I don't want to find myself in a position where I have to depend on someone. I want to be liberated.
My mother, and not only did my mom raise us, we always had other people around us, like my cousins, my uncle's children, and she always managed to take care of all of us. We never grew up lacking anything.
I will not lie, I was raised by extremely strong women. And I still need them in my office as a guide, almost walking around, because they were very powerful women, but they were not business women.
I grew up in the home of a woman who was running a business and somehow still managing to feed us and clothe us and educate us. That made me understand that it is possible.
It was hard in the past. I mean, having to go to work and provide for your children, but my mother is an example of that strong woman, what we call imbogoto.
Beyond the threshold of home, leadership maintains a predictable silhouette, one built on historical privilege, seemingly unshakable. For women in the property sector, seeing themselves reflected in positions of power remains a rare occurrence. Their challenges largely invisible in an industry that wasn't built with them in mind.
Those are the people that you could relate to, that were in higher positions, that you are aspiring to.
The property, construction, built environment sector is reservedly historically reliant on a skills base, like physical, practical skills.
I think we the lesser of the gender. The major challenges from an industry point of view, it's always been seen as the tough industry, the hard industry. You need to have the steel toes to get on site. It's a man's world.
I remember the very first job being a very confident young girl, thinking that the world owed me something, not realizing I would have to work so hard. I've been exposed to such difficult environments very early on in my career. You kind of expect life to be difficult.
The Triple BEE, while a beacon of hope, has had mixed success in leveling the playing field. It aimed to dismantle historical inequalities, yet women, especially in construction, found the ceiling hard to break.
For me, this whole BEE, as much as I've heard about it, I actually haven't seen it really work for me. I sort of put it there on my company profile. I'm a level 1 BEE. But I can't say that I've gotten a project because I'm a level 1 BE.
We've got leading women, we've got women in property, therefore we've done what we need to do. It's a journey. It's a progressive journey.
To the Black women running businesses who feel that, the chips are stacked against them, I would say that is true. The chips are stacked against you.
The discrimination against women in the property and construction sectors stems from a complex web of societal, structural, and economic barriers. According to the Sherry Blair Foundation's 2022 research, nearly half of women entrepreneurs, 49%, reported facing direct discrimination, with 26.1% stating they are not taken seriously as entrepreneurs simply because of their gender. Financial institutions perpetuate this cycle by viewing women as higher risk borrowers, systematically limiting their access to crucial business financing. Gender bias manifests in multiple ways. Women are more likely to have their abilities and credibility scrutinized, face challenges in accessing project management support, and encounter significant obstacles in brand creation and skills development, effectively preventing them from breaking through entrenched structural inequalities. As the 2023 BRICS Women's Development Report notes, while women's entrepreneurship rates have improved from less than 5% in 2005 to 16% in 2021, significant gaps remain in economic empowerment and access to opportunities.
If someone needs a contractor and I rock up, there's that stigma that, how are you going to build a house, Because I like to look good, I'll get those comments, oh, wow, she is like, oh, looking too pretty, oh. There's that perception that women shouldn't be in the space, women should be at home, taking care of the family.
Men has got a lady at home that's look after the kids, or a wife. We are the wives, we are the moms.
What was hard is that when I started, I had no full-time helper. I had 3 children. I had a home to take care of. And at the same time, I needed to bring something on the table as well. My circumstances at that time were not so favorable, but I had to stick it through. And we're here now.
It's hard in a leadership position to juggle, particularly family, and to balance your life is quite tough.
Real estate can be an all boys club, and I think it's deep-seated, it's generations long.
While they're playing golf, they're talking about, oh, by the way, there's an RFP that's going to come out soon, you must look out for it. But if you are not part of that golf day game, it means that you are excluded from those kind of opportunities.
Well, I spent too much time trying to break barriers and wanting to be invited to the dance. I'm not interested in that, and you shouldn't be.
Studies show that when companies increase the representation of women in leadership, overall performance improves. Yet the journey is far from easy. Research highlights how women of color, in particular, face even greater challenges dealing with both gender and racial biases. Still, these barriers are being dismantled, one breakthrough at a time, as women continue to lead, inspire, and push the boundaries of what's possible.
The question of where women are in a very well-dominated sector, it's a very common question. But the question is it at the rate that we want to see? And is it at the level we want to see? Definitely and certainly not at this point.
The inclusion of women as customers and owners of property is really exciting to see, and currently the growth that's being driven in that part of the industry is being driven by young, single, mostly African young women. However, when you flip over to the commercial side, which is of course where you see much higher value transactions and a completely different kind of operating model, the statistics start to look very different, and the participation of women there hasn't had the kind of growth and traction that we would have liked to see.
There's progression, and women have just gotten on with it, right? So I think this is an important point to stress. Women are not victims that are still struggling to break through the barriers. They've done it, right? But not to the extent that we certainly have wanted to.
So the construction market is quite slow at this stage. However, you can diversify. There's amazing opportunities in the sustainability space, in the green space. So being an entrepreneur is also keeping your finger on the pulse on the changing of the trends as well.
It is important for us to have representation of all types of women leading and reaching the heights of leadership to make it possible in the minds of young women of the future that it is possible.
Imagine an entire generation of talent silenced, suppressed, systematically erased. This isn't history. The question that remains in an industry so resistant to change: will these pioneers of transformation finally break through the concrete ceiling?